Let's go now to the next speaker, right? So our next speaker is Annmarie Lanesey. In 2008, Annmarie co-founded Grain Tree Technology, a New York State certified woman-owned business enterprise. And in 2016, she founded Albany Can Code, an organization dedicated to helping talented local people from all backgrounds to find pathways to employment in the regional technology sector. She serves on the boards of Albany Can Code, WMHT, and the Capital Region Chamber. Actually, last year I joined myself one of the courses that Albany Can Code offered for the JavaScript frameworks for the backend. So I will I will welcome and let Annmarie tell us more about her talk.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I good?
Yeah.
You sound great.
All right. Let me get my slides up. 1 second here. Let's see. I have the button that says Linda Kovacs is presenting. Oh no. Oh, you
can take over. You can take over.
Let's see your entire screen. Okay, I'm taking it over, Linda. Here we go. Can you see? Let's see. Can you see the slide I have here? Everybody see now? Albany Can Code logo?
Nope, not seeing it. We're seeing the big grid view.
Okay.
No, not yet.
All right. 1 second. Let me try again. Worked flawlessly in our test.
You know, we did. For those who are watching now, we had some fun practices. But you know, it's a live demo.
Share the contents of your screen. Okay, share. Oh, golly, it's grayed out. It's not letting me share. That's a weird one. So, Linda, I emailed the slides to you.
Yeah, okay.
In case there were trouble. I was seeing our earlier presenter, and I was hoping the same wasn't going to happen. Could you pull those out of your email? Because it's not allowing me. It's saying the share button is actually gray, and it's not letting me click it.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened. That's happened to a few of us. It's you never know when that's going to pop up.
Oh, let's see. Let me see. It's turned blue on me again. Let's see if I'll try one more time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
how about that?
You got it.
Oh, phew. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's see. All right, so my name is Annmarie Lanesey. It's awesome to be here with all of you. I've been here most of the day, and it's been really wonderful, and I really have enjoyed most of the presentations. So I'm just going to walk through my slides pretty quick, and I'm just going to give a warning that if you just give me a hook if I start to go on a little too long, because I get really excited to talk about this stuff. So, or just shout because I have my screen up and I can't actually see you giving me the hook. So just say, Annmarie, okay, it's time for you to wrap. And hopefully you won't need to, but just giving you that heads up. So here's just to start some photos of some of the wonderful faces of our friends from Albany Can Code. And I'll tell you a little bit how we got to be as an organization. So my background is I have a software company that I started in 2010, actually. So almost over a decade now, which is kind of wild. It feels like it was just a couple of years ago. I started it with my husband in 2008, and it was around 2009 that we really got it off the ground. And, you know, I don't tell this part of this a lot, but I'll tell it here, which is that part of the reason why I started that company was because I had advanced in the company that I had worked for. And I just saw that, you know, there really wasn't going to be much further advancement for me there. I had started a division. It was a small company, you know, family-owned kind of business. It had a couple of offices in 2 different states, but still pretty small. And I just started to notice the, you know, the fact that I was the youngest, I was a woman at my level, and I did start to question the pay gap that I was experiencing. So at that time, I thought, you know, I loved my boss, I loved everybody I worked for, but I did just sort of see the limits of my abilities there. For the wage that I knew I was capable of achieving elsewhere. So I thought, you know what, it's time for me to go out on my own and start a company. So that's what I did. I started a software business when I met my then just colleague who worked down the hall and now turned husband and business partner. Our business is actually older than our marriage, which is kind of cool. This view you're seeing here is a look out the window of our office in downtown Troy. And if you see, there's a a person walking across the street there. And it was at this office that I had the aha moment to start Albany Can Code. So I had hired a developer that had a 4-year degree from one of the local top tier computer science engineering programs. And I also, Susan Lundberg, many of you know, she came to me, she, was a recruiter, and she said, I have a guy who's never been to college. He works in a kitchen at a burrito bar on Lark Street, and he's interested. You're looking for Ruby on Rails developers. He's taught himself Ruby. He's only been learning for about 2 months, but would you have interest in giving him like an internship experience? And she said, you talk a lot about building pathways for people, because at that time I had been talking about it for quite a bit. I had been talking just about the fact that I was still noticing that there were so few women in the seats I sat at and the rooms I was in. And just, and she said to me, would you be willing? And I said, yeah, I would love to, because we can't find other Ruby developers here. It was either hire him or it was going to be a guy that we were about to put a job offer to out in Idaho. Speaking of remote work, which now it's a whole different conversation, but at that time he was the only Ruby guy that we were, coming across. And so we offered this guy an internship, and he sat next to this guy that had the 4-year degree. And I quickly noticed that he was not only keeping up, but he was in some cases speeding past him on some of the projects he was on. And I realized at that moment, watching the two of them side by side, looking out my window, seeing people on the corner of Broadway and 4th Street in Troy, and realizing that there are people all over our communities. They have the aptitude for tech sector work, but they have no idea they have it in them because there's nobody who's ever really taught them. And that still is the case pretty much through to today, unfortunately, because the schools pretty much are not quite there yet either. They're still not, maybe things are going to start to change now with our move to virtual and remote and all of the work, all of the things we've just experienced, but there is no really standardized curriculum or curriculum at all in the schools here in New York State and in many states across the country. So kids are still not getting, it's kind of spotty, hit or miss what they're getting in school. So a lot of adults don't know it, and a lot of kids coming up don't know it. And it just occurred to me that, people can do this work. And off we went. So we started a little pilot program, and we got a small grant. I knew right away that it was meant to be an independent 501c3 that was not going to have anything to do with the work that I was doing in my software business. And off we went. We had 75 people apply. We accepted 12, and 9 completed the initial cohort. That was back in 2016. And here we are 20 years later, or 4 years later, and I don't know where 20 just came from. Oh, that's funny. Here we are 4 years later, and almost 200 people have gone through our program at this point. So a lot of the reason why I really felt so passionate about this work was because, like I said earlier, I didn't see a lot of faces like mine. And as a woman in tech, I often thought about not only the women, but where are the people of color? Where are the people that are coming from challenging economic backgrounds? We have a lot of tech companies that are saying they're having a hard time hiring. We have an awful lot of people that, could potentially fill these jobs. So off we went, and we've been enjoying every second of it. So we teach a few things. We teach hard coding skills, we teach soft skills, and then job skills. So we teach people things like resume writing, interview techniques, and then all the hard language skills that the local employer network that we have cultivated is looking to hire people for. So here's just a little breakdown of how the classes work. So they're basically 12 weeks, up to 20, but a good average class size is around 12 to 15. We have instructors that are working technology professionals in the field. So not the traditional, in a college setting, you have people, their job is to be, instructing. Most of our instructors are folks that actually have day jobs working in technology and want to do it because they're passionate about teaching others. And then we work with partners that provide funding for people. So a big part of our mission is finding people that may not have the funds to pay to go through, teaching themselves or going into a new career. So we partner with a lot of different organizations to help fund people. I'm proud to say that 70% of our students are funded through tuition scholarships and have paid nothing to go through the program. Down in the bottom, you see just our course catalog. So we've developed like 6 or 7 different curriculums at this point. These courses have been developed in partnership with local employers, and they've been in response to the needs that local employers have told us they're hiring for. Because we love teaching and training people new skills, but what we really love even more than that is seeing them go into employment and get jobs that come out of this. So like I mentioned, we partner with different funders that provide access to our programs. We also partner with the local community college and BOCES system. So our classes are sort of run in partnership with community colleges and their workforce offices. So that's really nice because they have a reach as well, and they can reach people that we may not, just through our word of mouth and our marketing that we do. You see at the bottom, you can see some of the faces of students that are in our classes. On the bottom right-hand corner, we had Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul come to our class about a year ago, which was really exciting for us. And she gave a little talk about what the technology sector is like out, well, all across the state, but out in her region where she lives, out in the Buffalo region. Some of our partners, here you see SUNY Schenectady, SUNY Adirondack, Hudson Valley Community College. We're now actually also partnering with SUNY Ulster down in Kingston with an expansion we're about to launch this summer. And then SUNY Empire State College is now a new partnership for us, and they are reviewing our programs so that students who have gone through our programs can get college credit for the courses that they've gone through for us. If they are going on for continuing education or a degree, they can use that towards the degree, completing a degree, which we're really excited about. These are some of our K-12 partners. We do some work in schools. I'm not going to get into that a ton today, but we have a whole bunch of programs running in schools all across the Capital Region. And these are just some partners that we work with that help us. Workforce Development Institute was one of the seed founders of our organization, or seed funders, when we were founding the organization. They've been a great support to us. Saratoga County Prosperity Partnership brought us up to Saratoga County, and Center for Economic Growth. So this is one of the exciting slides I like to share. About a year ago, we started looking back, like we're just hearing these amazing off the charts stories from our students about like what their jobs were like, what their wage growth was. We had one individual that had been cleaning floors. His job was, on the night shift at a big box retailer. And, he came through one of our early, I think it was our first back-end class, which is Ruby and her friends. Ruby on Rails was one of those early classes we were teaching. And he went on, got an internship. In his internship, I think he was paid like maybe $15 or $20 an hour for the summer. But he was so excited to get that because it was his first tech experience. And then they offered him a full-time job. I think his starting salary was going to be around $55,000. And then he said, I have another job offer. And today he's making 80 grand as a Salesforce applications engineer. And this is another example of a person who had never gone to college to learn this stuff, but just took a couple of our courses. So we're excited and super proud of that. So we launched a survey to ask our students, so what are you doing now? It's really hard to people go out in the world and we sort of lose track of what they're doing. And this is just a slide of where we're at in terms of what people have reported back to us, the wage growth. And this is just the students that have reported back. But of those students that have reported back to us, they're seeing on the median is $17,000 pay jump from where they were prior, which is really, really quite exciting for us. Here's a little breakdown of where this is falling in terms of different demographics. So, it is, as you see here on the top, women, unfortunately, are trailing behind men. I was really disappointed when I saw this and started to, actually, I just got a warning that my battery's going to die. So let me just walk over here and plug in my computer. Sorry about that. There we go. Now you won't lose me. But we're really excited that people of color are actually receiving they're meeting their white counterpart, or beating their white counterparts with a $18,000 roughly pay jump over the $17,000 median that I mentioned. Veterans are at the $31,000. We're so excited about that. We've had several veterans come through our program that came to us unemployed. And we have a scholarship program that is dedicated to putting veterans through our program. So we're really excited about that as well. Sorry about that. Jumped a couple slides there. So here we have just, the breakdown of the different demographics that are coming through our classes. You can see down in the corner, we have about 55% of our students are male, about 47% are women. We're really working very hard to find more women and people of color and people coming from backgrounds that may be underrepresented normally in the tech sector. So we, if you can spread the word at all, that's really what we're looking to do. Like I mentioned, we have specifically also targeting veterans, trying to help veterans that are coming out of working in the military and getting back into the workforce. They face many barriers that I was unaware of prior to starting this work. So this is, we get this question a lot. How do you know if you'd make a good coder? And what we tell people is you like to problem solve, not necessarily just being good at it, but you actually enjoy it. Because this is, as most of you know, this is something, problem solving is basically probably one of the most important skills that you actually do enjoy solving problems all day long, because anybody who's worked in IT for any period of time, you have to come to learn that there's problems always, everything breaks, and you have to find the joy in that almost like all day long and all the time. And if it's not the thing you're going to love to do, IT may not be for you. Finding patterns in the big picture, finding an answer, even if it takes time. So patience, diligence, learning, people that, have those qualities and traits, we find that will be very successful in our programs and in the tech sector. Do you believe that learning is about getting better, not always about being perfect? That there's more than one way to do a right thing. Anybody who does do development knows that there's 1,000 ways to solve a problem. And some ways maybe quicker, shorter, smarter than others, but there are definitely many ways you can, many angles on how to solve something. And that every skill is something that can be improved. These are just some of the things before people apply. Typically, you need to have basic computer skills. It would be pretty hard to come into one of our classes and not know how to use a computer. And I'll get into something a little more on that in a slide or two. I actually should have probably looked at my clock. I should have had that handy just to make sure I'm not running terribly too long. I'm probably getting close to the end here. So
you got a minute or two,
great.
And then we can open it up to questions.
Awesome. Okay, so that's good because I am at the end, and I'll go quick through these next couple slides. So right now we have classes. Our summer cohort application open right now for our front-end web development class. And also we're teaching this summer, we are doing, what is the second class? I think it's, why am I blanking on it? Oh, Python for data analytics. This is our second run of our Python class. We just did it in the fall, in the spring, and it was really, really successful. So we're doing another run of that. Most critical is our employer network. So many of the employers represented as sponsors and hosting today. Thank you to the Janelle Group, Troy Web Consulting. We have employers all across the Capital Region that are supporting this work by sending mentors into the classroom, working with our students, reviewing their resumes, coaching one-on-one, coaching in the classroom, like I mentioned, meeting on our employer network. We could not do this work without them. We have over 50 companies right now in the network. Here's just one of our students. I won't read through Jamal Taylor's awesome quote. Jamal was a student of ours. He's now working as a developer and also one of our instructors for our JavaScript. Linda knows Jamal well, and he's fabulous. And just real quick, we're doing virtual digital literacy right now because we know the situation people are in facing this work from home. If you can't, if you don't know how to use a computer, if you don't know how to do what we're doing today, you can't actually access any of this. So we have doubled down on our digital literacy programming, and we're now offering virtual digital literacy for people in partnership with counties. So if you know of anybody that really could just use basic digital literacy computer skills, we're teaching that too, because we know people still may have the aptitude. We just have to get them there. And it may take longer, but we get that. We do see people coming out of our virtual digital literacy classes going into our workforce classes, which is awesome. I'll skip a little through this. Last but not least, we're expanding. We've had calls from all across the state of New York and beyond. And we're our first expansion region. We're working in the Hudson Valley down in Kingston, and we'll be launching this summer a program down there. So I hope I didn't go too long. I hope Chad isn't just being polite because I actually didn't get a second. But that's it. If anybody has any questions, I'm certainly here to answer any if there's a minute or two.
So real quick, Hamida loved one of the slides, but I wasn't sure which one it was. She says, love the slide. I've been waiting. No, I'm sorry. I've been learning how to code, and it validates what I'm doing and why I want to transition into this new domain. It's the slide which talked about why you should code. And why you're
that one maybe about what traits you might have, what you might look for. How do you know you're a good coder? That one?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep, that's the one.
Cool. Great. Yeah, I can share that, send that to you if you're interested.
Yeah, that's nice. Reaffirming for some people. So one thing that's really neat, some of our sponsors, right? You talked about Janelle Group and Troy Webb. Of course, we've been working together with Albany Can Code and the Center for Economic Growth. There's in this Albany area, there is an apprenticeship that several folks have been working together to make happen. And we there's a few people in there, and one of them really has this story, as you know, where they didn't have the college degree, but they were interested in technology, and they entered this apprenticeship through different companies. And then Albany Can Code was able to come in with the instruction that the state required in order to keep the program up to standards. I don't know if you wanted to chat any about that, but it seems there's so much going on in this space, right?
Yeah. The state has a great program right now for apprentices, and any company can take advantage of this. There's actually tax credit. It actually pays for the funding for the students, and you can have incumbent workers, which is workers that are already on a team, get training through this, and you can have new hires come through the program. So we just come through our first year. I think we had 3 apprentices go through the program. It was really, really wonderful to work with both Troy Webb, Janelle Group, and MVP Healthcare. So thank you definitely for your support on that.
That's so.
Yeah, that's great.
Can I ask you a question for the attendees? Do you plan to do anything after the COVID online, or only digital literacy?
Yeah, so it looks like this summer, what we're going to do is start our classes online, because we haven't yet, education institutions haven't gotten the go-ahead to open their facilities. They may. It seems like things are starting to trickle and things are starting to open up. But as of today, we don't know. And we just decided we can't wait, and we can't not know, and we need to keep going forward. And so we're offering what we know will be courses this summer. And they, like our traditional courses, may fully be online if that's all we're able to do. If not, they will start online, and they will move into a hybrid mode, which will be half online, half in person, as we're able, and if we're able to meet in groups. I know right now it's 10 is sort of the limit, and we just heard that just recently, so we haven't kind of wrapped our heads around that. But we also know people aren't comfortable meeting in groups, and for those people, we don't want to exclude them, and we want to provide a way for them. So we're going to definitely have a virtual option going forward.
So women in attendance today, they can apply and see if they get approved to your program at this point, right?
Yeah, the application is up on our website, albanycancode.org. Yep, and we have scholarship funds to pay for people to go through the program, which is the most exciting part.
So take advantage of it. So many opportunities today, as I see in our event. Everybody throwing all these amazing opportunities. Any other questions in chat, Chad? Can you check?
I don't see any questions. Some people commenting on how we're very fortunate to have all these opportunities in our area. So